Okay. So the second approach is we are going for a Redux. Okay. So either you can go for a Redux or we can go for a React context also. Both are to share our data between the multiple components. Okay. If you want to store any data for entire application, then we can go for the Redux or we can go for a context also. Anything is fine. So based on the requirement, we will use it. So this, what is this Redux? Redux is a library. Okay, this is separate library which is not available in the React. This Redux we can use it for Angular, we can use for Vue.js, we can use for React also. With any library we can integrate this Redux. This is not only belongs to the React, we can add this Redux to the any other library also. Okay, concepts will be same, but we are going to apply this Redux for our React project. That is the one. Okay, so Redux is a pattern, a library for managing the application state. Okay, so and here we are going to maintain the global level state. If you are going to maintain only one component, then we can go for a use state. If you want to store multiple data, like in between the multiple components, then we can go for a Redux. Using the Redux, we can avoid the property drilling. Okay, we can avoid property drilling. Okay, so what we are going to do? Either we can directly install the Redux library and we can do it. Okay, so what some people have done is they have released another library called Redux Toolkit. So whenever you are using Redux, so they're writing the code is a little bit difficult because that is a common library. So that is the reason what some people have done. They have created another library called Redux Toolkit. Okay, they have more simplified in the Redux Toolkit. Internally, they are using the Redux only, but they are writing more simplified code in the Redux Toolkit. So if you want to install any like Redux Toolkit, this is the most popular for React. Okay, so I always tell, right, if you want to learn any framework, you have to go to their official website. Then you have to read their manual. So what this is their official website. I can open this link here and okay, let me quick start. Okay, so you can go here and you can read it out. So how to first you can install the Redux Toolkit. Then you can go for like step by step. You can go for it. Okay, so instead of going step by step, what I have done is I have copied all these lines here and I have done some simplified notes. Either you can go to their official website and follow the one by one. First you need to create here, and second you can create this one step by step. You can do it, or you can follow the our notes also. Anything is fine. But whenever you want to learn any new technology, first to go to their official website and try to learn from them only. Okay, yes. So as part of here, first we need to install one library. So that library name is redux.js/toolkit, and another library is Redux React Redux. These two libraries we are going to install. Whenever you want to install multiple libraries, give simply space and write another name. So automatically it will install both libraries. Okay, so let us stop the project and install these libraries. Let us go here and install these two libraries. Okay, and click on install. So this is the first step. Once you are going to install these two libraries, then we can learn about it. Okay, let us learn what are the important topics inside the Redux and we'll go for it. Okay, so inside the Redux there are mainly four parts are there. Okay, so the first part is actions, and second is a reducer, third is a store, and fourth is a view. Very important. So in interview they'll ask, tell me about, explain about the Redux. You can explain about these topics. In Redux mainly Redux is a library, third-party library. We can apply for React, and in Redux we will be having a actions and reducer, store, and view. So first we will see what is a action, and we'll go one by one. Okay. Suppose, do you know what is an object? Normal object. If I am going directly right like this, if I'm writing open bracket and close bracket, this is an object. Correct, right? Inside the object, I can have any number of properties. I can have a name, I can have age, I can have any number of properties. Like this, inside this one, there is a one property called type. Okay. So here you can type, suppose this type is a one property. You can write like any name, right? But they are having one important property called type. And for the type, you can have any value. Suppose I am going to log in, then you can define your type as a login. Suppose I want to click a update, you can write a update. Something delete, you can write a delete, something like this. So here this action is nothing but a simple object Inside the object, there is one property called type. This type you can write any name, no problem. Okay, no problem. And apart from the type, you can have any other properties also. Okay, by default, they have one property called payload. Payload means just data. What is the data we are transferring from one page to another page? Okay, so this is nothing but an action. Okay, so action is nothing but a simple JavaScript object which has a type field. So this is nothing but a type field is there, and this type field you can have any data. That is nothing but action. Okay, so action is nothing but a simple JavaScript object where you are going to have one type field. That is one. So let's go for a second, reducer. Okay, reducer. Let's go for reducer here. A reducer is a function that receives one value and one action object. Okay, action object is nothing but a one simple object, and it will decide like what we should do. Let me try to write one reducer. For example, here I'm going to remove here, and suppose do you know how to write a function? Function name, something like this. I'll say reducer function something. Okay, so as per the definition, what they are saying here, you are going to have the one variable that is nothing but a state, and another variable called a action. Action is nothing but what one simple object which will have a type property. Okay, so this reducer is nothing but a, it will take this value and return some value. Okay, and the most important property is it will not change anything in the original data. It will always return a new data. Do you know how to return a new data? We can return a new data in two ways. We can write like a object dot assign method and open bracket, and I can write like a uh, action, something like this, action not payload. Okay, so here this object dot assign is a what it will do, it will create a new object and it will copy all the data here, and we are going to return that data. So this reducer is a simple function which is going to return a new data, always new data. It will not change anything in the original array. It will not original array, original object. It will always return a new data only. Either they can follow this one, and there is another way also. We can write like a this object and dot 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 action. So this is also, what is this meaning? We are going to iterate one by one property and we are creating into new object. Anyway, we can use it. Okay. So reducer means we are going to write one simple function. It will return a new data based on the logic. Suppose here we can write a condition. Suppose if I am a login, suppose I am writing a login. So I am going to insert my username data. Suppose I am going to delete, I will write some other logic. So based on the type, we are going to write a different logic here. That is okay. Okay. But what is the second part I want to do? So reducer is nothing but a simple function which will take a two arguments. One is a state, another is a action. That definition is sufficient. Okay. So that is nothing but a second part. So how many parts we have it? Action is the object. Reducer is a function. Two things are clear, right? Third one is a store. Okay, store. Suppose I want to store my application data. So if you are logging into any other application, let me go to our favorite application. So Trinits, and there is a index.html is there. If you are going to log into this application, here suppose see here, and I'm going to click on the companies. Here I'm having the company data, and I will click on the next page. Here also I'm having the employee data is there, right? Okay, I want to maintain this data. If I click home, see what is the data here, count is coming 10. This is nothing but your total company count. That means same company data I'm using in the first page, same company data I'm using in a second page. I'm using two places, right? Whenever you want to use in two places, then which concept we can go for? Global concept, correct, right? Global state management. Okay, suppose you are going to load all the data and store in one place. That from that place we can use it here, and from the same place we can use it in the second place also. Okay, so wherever you are going to maintain multiple places, we can use it. That is one. So the store is nothing but a, all the data will store in one place. So that object is nothing but a store. We are going to do like this. Okay, and the last part, view is nothing but a page. Like whichever the page you are going to load the data, that is nothing but a view. Suppose here this page is there. This page is a company page. Here we are going to load the data and show it here. This page is nothing but a view. Okay, this page is nothing but a view. Suppose whenever I want to load this data, for this loading the data, we will throw the action, some actions. Okay. So first we'll know the definition and we'll write the code. Then you will understand better. Okay. So now mainly how many parts we are having at actions, reducers, store and view. View is nothing but our component. Store is nothing but another object with all the data. Reduce is nothing but a function which will return a new data. And action is nothing but a simple object which will have a type property. These four. Okay. So apart from this one, whenever you are going to install our Redux React Toolkit, you can go for this tutorial and try to do like this. Okay. So whenever we have used that React context, we have done some 4 steps, right? First step, create context, something like this. We'll go here also, we'll go step by step. Okay. So that we can do it. So here first we need to create a Redux slice file. So as part of our this Redux approach, what is the first step? We are going to create a slice file. Let's go to our project. So Redux is installed. Let's start the project. npm start. So we are going to start the project. Once it is started, so yesterday we have created the in the previous video we have created the one folder, right? What is that folder name? That folder is name is nothing but a context. Okay. Now we are going to follow the Redux approach. In Redux approach, we will not create a context. We are going to create one new folder called store. Okay. We are going to create one new folder called store. Wherever if you see in any project, store is there. That means you are creating a Redux. They are using the Redux approach. Okay. Now I have created a store. So inside the store, what I want to do? What is the first step we want to create? Create a slice file. Okay. As part of this example, we want to store the user information. Correct, right? For each module, we can write one slice file. Okay. For example, here I am going to store one Redux file that is belongs to the user information, all user information, like whether username, user details, all users, anything I am going to store inside the user only. So first we are going to create one file called user dot slice dot js, something like this. Okay. Or you can write like user dot js also fine, because I just want to inform this is a slice file, something like this. Okay. So that is the reason I'm going to write like a user data slice data js. This is a normal js only. So this is the first step. Here, as part of here, you need to write the, so first we need to create the slice. Okay, slice. So before creating the slice, what we have to define is, as part of the here, what is the information we want to store it. Okay, so we'll go with a simple case. As part of the store, what we want to do, I want to share my data between the multiple component, like what is the username. Later I will add the other details. First I want to store my username. I will say constant initial state is equal to user, okay, name colon empty, and I'll write like this. Okay, constant. So this is my variable name, and I'm writing open and close bracket. Open and close bracket is nothing but what? Simple object. Inside the object, what is the data I'm having? It username. Suppose you want to have some other details also, something right like this in the bottom, second like this. But as part of for now, we want to know only this is more than sufficient. Okay. So this is the first step. You are going to create one initial state. You will decide, okay, for now I want to only username. That is okay. So second thing is, you are going to create a slice. There is one method called slice. Okay. So if you are going to see, there is a create slice will be there. Let us use the slice. Okay. Something like this. I will just close it. Okay. So here there is a method called slice. Okay. This slice method, you should import it from the Redux Toolkit. Import it. Okay. Create slice is available from the Redux Toolkit. Now I have imported. This slice will take one object as an argument. Okay. This slice will take a object as empty object as an argument. First I have written like this. That is okay. And it will return one data. That return I am storing as a user slice. You can write it any name, no problem. Since this slice name is a user slice, I am storing as a user slice. That is fine. Okay. So this is the second step. Inside the slice, we need to define some properties here. For every slice, we need to define one name. What is your slice name? Okay. So that is the reason we'll have one property called name property. Okay. Name. So I will define, since I am going to store about the user information, I will give like a user. Suppose tomorrow you are going to store about the company, you can give like a company. You can give any name here. Okay. So for now, I will go with the user. And second thing is, I want to like, what is the data you want to give as a initial value. Already I have defined in the top right. So I can give the this same state. So I will copy here and I will give it here. Suppose this is the initial state, I will give like this, comma. Okay. So whenever your property name same and that object name also same, then what we can do, we no need to write the second part. We can simply remove it. So that is the reason I'm, suppose if here, if you are having like first state, something like this, then how can you define it? Uh, Initial state colon first. This is the meaning. Okay. Since we are going to write the same name, we are not going to write like this. Okay. This is the second step. And inside this create slicer, the important, there is another important property called reducers. Okay. So we have learned reducers, right? What is a reducer? Reducer is nothing but a simple function. Okay. So this reducer is nothing. Here I am going to write a reducers. That reducers also I am going to write a empty object here. Okay. Simple. So far, so this is the first, we are getting one empty object. Inside the empty object, I have given name and initial state, and third is a reducers. Okay. So far here it's okay. So inside the reducer, this is an object, right? If you see, this is an object. Inside the object, I can have a properties, I can have a methods, anything I can have it, right? Okay. So now what I want to do, whenever I'm clicking login, I want to update my username. Okay, whenever I want to click login, what I want to do, I want to write my update my username. That is the reason here I will write one name method name called login. Okay. So for this login, I will store as a ES6 function. Okay. Something like this. Okay. See here. So this is a ES6 function. So which is taking a 2 argument. Whenever 2 arguments are there, brackets are required. Okay. And I am writing a state comma action. So state is nothing but the data, whatever the data here is, we have the data, right? That is nothing but a state. Action is nothing but what? A simple object which will have a payload as a payload and a type, 2 properties. Okay. So here what we are going to do. So you will write like a state data. What is your property name here? Username. You will say state data username is equal to action. Inside the action, I already told there will be 2 properties. One is a type, another is a payload. Okay. So that payload I am trying to store in the username here. That is a simple function. See, this is a simple function which is storing some data to from action. We are storing into state data username. That's all. Clear, right? So now I have created an initial step and I have created my slice also. That's all. Okay. Now third one is now I want to use this file in other places, other files. Okay. That is the reason I'm going to write another line export. I want to use it in another file constant. I want to declare here as a constant. So do you know what is this one? Property, we are extracting some data, destructuring. Do you know what is the destructuring? Suppose inside the like this slice file is there, right? We are creating one slice, right? Inside the slice, whatever the you are writing this method, this will be like a actions. This will be automatically creating like a actions. So this is nothing but one action objects, all actions. From that action, I want to copy only this one. I want to copy only this one. That is the reason I am writing this object and I am writing a login. This means a destructuring. Destructuring concept, you know, right? Suppose inside the object you have 4 properties. You want to copy only one. You can write a bracket and you can write that name alone. So automatically, this name automatically will come here. Suppose here I am writing a delete also. Delete also, something like this. Okay. Something open bracket and close bracket. Now I want to destructuring this also. How to do it? I can write like a delete. So this is like a destructuring. So let us go with the one method and later we'll do like this. So now I am writing a destructuring also. Okay, clear? Okay. So now and finally what I have to do, I have to export this file. I have to export entire file. So that is the reason I am writing export default. Do you know what is the default? Whenever you are writing a default, you no need to put whenever you are importing, you no need to write these brackets. Correct, right? You can directly write like this. If you are writing extract, you need to write inside the bracket. That is the only difference. Suppose see here. Here I am writing inside the export constant login, right? If I am trying to import, I need to write inside the brackets login. But if I'm trying to import this slice, I can directly import like this. Okay, let us see where we are going to import. Okay, so the finally what we are trying to do, we are trying to export the reducer also. In the previous line, we are exporting the actions. In the next line, we are exporting the reducer. So this entire file, in which file we are writing all this code? User data slice file. Okay, so this is the first part. Okay, so if you are going the notes, so what is the first step? Create the slice file. Inside the slice file, you are going to create an initial state. You are going to create a slice file. You have done this one. Okay, so now first part done. Okay, second step is go and write the your store. Okay, so we are going to write a store. Let us go to here. Okay, I am going to write a new folder called store. Okay, store data js. Okay, so we have created a another file called store.js. So far it is clear. So here also store, let us see what is store. Store is creating like a, there is a method called configure store. So what is the method name? Configure store. This configure store which will take one object as an argument. Let us try to do it ourselves. Okay, so what is the method name? Configure store. Okay, so this configure store which will take a object as a argument. Okay, so this store you can export it whenever you want to use this one. What you can do, you can export it, right? Simply I'm going to export it, something like this. I'm going to export it, or you can store into one variable. That variable also you can export it. Suppose you want to export, you can write like a constant store is equal to something. You can write a export default store. Any two lines is fine. Directly you can write export default like this. This is fine, or you can store into one variable. This is also fine. Both are same. Okay. So this configure store, from which library we need to import? A Redux Toolkit. Okay. So this configure which will take a one object as a argument. Inside the object, you need to write a reducers. Like you need to define our reducer. So let us try to define our reducer. So simply write here reducer, open bracket and close bracket. Okay, so first what we have done, we are creating one configure store, and which we are passing as object as a argument. Inside the object, what is the property we are creating? A reducer. This is also another object. Okay, so this is we have created. So far it's created. This is okay, right? Now we need to define like what is the store we have created slice, user slice, right? So that is the reason I will declare here user. Okay, and I will import like a user slice. So this user is, you can write any name, no problem. Suppose you are going to write a company, here you can write a company. And the right side is you need to import your user reducer. So let me read a user reducer. Let me write user reducer, user slice. Okay, suppose. So here I'm importing from like this. Okay, so this is what I told. Whenever you are opening here, what is the line I am writing? Export default, right? So whenever I am exporting default over there, I can simply write like a user slice, and I no need to put this bracket, something like this is not required. So that is a use of default. Okay, so here I am writing like this. This slice you can import it here, something like this. Okay, for always better practice name, what people will do, they will write like this user reducer. Okay, you can keep any name here, and same name I can use it here also. Either you can write user slice also, no problem. But for better naming, what we are going to do, you are writing the same name in the top, and you are going to write here. Okay, so now with this, what is the, this is a second step. Now what is the second step you have done? You have configured the store. So what is the store? Simple method, configure store. Inside the configure store, you are going to write a simple reducer. Inside the reducer, you are going to define your reducer. Suppose I am having another slice file. How to define edit? You can write a comma here and write a company, comma, company reducer. Suppose if you have written a company reducer, you can define like this. Suppose you have another reducer, you can directly write like this, one by one. Okay, you don't need to write multiple store files. You are going to write only one store file. Inside the store file, you are going to import all the reducers. That is the important point. Okay, so let us remove the other file. We are going to have only one reducer. This is okay. So now let us go for a third step. Third step is providing the store. Okay, now we need to use the store in our project. Correct, right? So now where we have to go here is go to your index.js. Okay, yesterday we like in the previous video we have used this user context provider, right? Whenever you are going to use a React context, you are going to use like this. But now we are not going to use the React context. What technique we are going to use it now? We are going to use the Redux technique. Okay. So now we need to apply our knowledge like Redux also to here. So that is the reason we will go over here, and here we are going to use one component called provider. Okay, what is the component name? Provider. This provider is available from the React-Redux component. Okay, something like this, and I'll close here. Okay, something like this. So now if you see here, I'm writing a provider. Inside the provider, I'm using like a my app. So this provider is equal to our user context provider. But we no need to write this provider. Already it is written in the React Redux. We need to use it. That's all. Now we have used a provider also. We need to give a link between this provider and the store. That is the reason we'll go here and we'll write one property called store. Okay. Store is equal to, here we need to give one object. So what is the object I want to give it? Here we are exporting one data, right? This data I need to import it here. That is the reason I'll write like a store, something like this. See, whenever I'm writing store, it is importing from the store file. So right side I'm writing a store. This is importing from the here automatically here. So now I am giving a linking also. This is the third step. This is the step you are going to do only one time. Okay, the remaining two only you are going to work on multiple times. Here you are going to write only one time. Now this is also done. Now let us go for a fourth step. Once this is the step is done, now we will go here original action. Okay, so now the thing is whenever I'm clicking login, now I want to update my data. Correct, right? Whenever I'm clicking login, what we want to do? I want to update my data to the state. That is the reason which place I want to update my data. Login component. Let's go to login component. Go to login component. Okay, here, right? So wherever you want to update your data to the state, okay, in that place we need to use one hook called use dispatcher. What is the hook? Use dispatch. This hook is available from which library? React-Redux library. This is not inbuilt React hook. It is a React Redux. Okay. So what is the hook name? Use dispatch. What is the use of this use dispatcher? Whenever you want to update your data to the store. Okay. Then we will go use the use dispatch. Okay. So let us store into one variable. How to store in one variable? Constant. You can store into one variable name, right? Dispatch, something like this. Okay, so I am storing this use dispatch into one variable. What is that variable name? Dispatch. You can write any name, no problem, but for now I am using like a dispatch. Okay, now let us go to like whenever I'm clicking login, where is the which method will be called here? See, which method will be called here? Whenever my data is correct, here it will go here. So I will go to that place. I will remove this user object. Here I will go here. I will write like a dispatch. Okay, dispatch. We need to write an action. Okay, so I'll write like this dispatch. Okay, if you go to your slice file, what is the method name you are writing here? Login. Okay, you need to import this method here. Okay, in this login.js. Let me go to login here. Okay, so in the center I'll write a login control space. Okay, see here, where is this available? Store user slice file. Okay, I'll write like this is a method. Okay, this is a method. For this method, what is the data I want to share it? Username. Okay, simply I'm writing like, see here, first I am writing a dispatch. To why will write a dispatch? I want to update my data from here in this page to state. That is the reason I will write a dispatch. And what is the action I want to fire it? Login. Okay, login. What is the data it is required? Username. That is the reason I will update it here. Okay, now I have updated. So this is the part I will write like file save all. Okay, now where we want to use the data? Where we want to use the data? We want to use it in two places. The first place is a header. Second place is a sidebar. Correct, right? In two places. So let us see again. Whenever you want to update data to your state management, what is hook you will use it? Use dispatch. Okay. Now we'll go to fourth part. Now we want to get the data from the state. We want to get the data from the state. That is the reason here we are going to use another hook. Okay, another hook. Use selector. What is the hook name? Use selector. Use selector to get the data from the store. Okay, use dispatch to update data to the store. Okay. Okay, selector something. Okay, here this use selector will take one ES6 function as a argument. So simply I am writing like this. Okay, so see use selector, what it will take a one ES6 function as a argument. This function here automatically your state will come. Your state means if you open your Reducer, what is the data you are having it? Whatever the data is available here, that data it will be available there. Okay, the state available here in the login. Let me go to state. Okay, so let me go to state here, and I'll say state data user data username, something like this. I expected. Okay, something like this. Okay, so here this is the state. So this is state is nothing but a state, and if you, it will immediately it will go to your store folder. Where is your store folder? If you open your store folder, let me open my store folder. So what is the name I am keeping here? User. That is the reason if I open my login, first I am writing a state.user. Why I am writing user means what is the name I am keeping here? User. That is the reason user. Suppose if you are writing company here, then what is the code you should use it here? State.company, something like this. Okay. Next user. After the user, if you open my slice file, this slice file, open the slice file. What is the property I am using here? Username. That is the reason I am writing like a state data user data username. So let's store into one variable name now. Constant. Let's store into one variable name username, something like this. Okay, I will. I have this username right. Let me remove this user object. Okay. So earlier, what is the logic we are trying to do? Whenever if the username is there, if username is there, that is nothing but a login, something like. We are going to have this one. Here we will remove here, and I'll simply write like a username. If username is there, my button name should be log out. Otherwise, my button name should be login. And same thing. And I want to display my username. Whatever the if username is there, I want to display my username. Otherwise, I want to print empty. Okay, let us click on file, save all. Okay, now we have integrated all the parts. Let us see in the action. Okay, so now first click on login. See, there is no username at all right now. Okay, let's click on admin and click on admin. Okay, and click on login. Okay, see what is happening. So there is no action at all. So let's go and verify if there is any error in your code. Okay, so there is a lot of errors. Lot of errors is here. Okay, let's go to clear. Okay, so login is not a function, and it is throwing like a user obj data login. This is because handle submit. Let's go to handle submit. If you go to your handle submit, let me go to handle submit. Function, where is the function? You will go to login file. Okay, so inside the login, okay, I did not save all the files. File, save all. Let us try to reload it again. Okay, clear this one and click on reload. Okay, so this time admin and password is a admin, and click on login. See what is the username here? Okay, now we are using which approach? Redux or user context? Which approach we are using? Redux, correct, right? So automatically we are getting this data, right? And automatically button also change it to logout, right? Let us click on logout. Whenever we are clicking logout, it is going to login page. But see, the data is still it is there. We don't want that one, right? We want to clear that data. That is the reason. Again, you will go here where you are doing that header action. Go to header. Okay, see here in this place. Now we need to update the again state. Whenever you want to update the state, what is hook you should use it? I want to update my Redux. What is the hook we should use it? Use dispatch. Okay, so let us create that hook here. Let us use it. Use dispatch. Okay, and let us store into one variable. And what is the variable name? We will normally will keep it dispatch. Okay, normally we'll keep as a dispatch. We'll copy this one. Okay, where you want to fire your action here? Dispatch. Okay, what is my action name here? Suppose what is the action name I'm creating here? Login. So that is the reason I'll go here. I'll say login. Please import it from this file. Okay, please import it, login. So, and what is the data I want to give it? Empty. Why I want to give empty? Whenever I want to log out, I want to give a empty value. Okay, now file, save all. Let us see whether this time it will fix or not. Click on logout. See, name is gone. Let us try to login again. Admin and click on login. See, admin is coming and here logout button is coming. Logout also working fine, perfectly working fine. But my sidebar is still pending, right? Let's go and work on the sidebar also. Let's go. So where is the sidebar code available, Karnav? app.js. Now tell me which hook we should use it. I want to get data from the store. Which hook we should use it? Use dispatch or use selector? Use selector. Whenever we want to get the data, what selector? Use selector. Okay, let's use it. Okay, use selector. Okay, and what is the data I want to use it? Use selector state something like this. Correct, right? Import this use selector here from the React hyphen use selector React hyphen Redux library. That is done. Now we want to store into one variable, right? Let's store into one variable constant username is equal to something like this. Okay, username is equal to something. Okay, now we will remove this user object. Earlier we have created, right? We will remove this user object and we are having username. So wherever we are using user object dot username, simply we will write like this, and we are going to use in another place also. Okay, that's all. So now file, save all. Okay, so let us write this time. Let's create admin and our password is admin. Click on login. See, sidebar is coming. Okay, so on click on logout, data also going. Okay, so with this what we are able to achieve it, we are able to share the data between the multiple components where there is no relationship at all. Correct, right? There is no relationship between my login page and header. There is no relationship between my this page and sidebar also. But we are able to control it, right? So in that case, we will go for the Redux approach. So we are able to load the data.